Hey, it's me, Puppet DM, and I'm here to tell you all about the sponsors we have here at the Wandering Society. We're sponsored here by Mage and Press, makers of a bunch of 5th edition supplements, like the Book of Kobolds or their series of new classes. And don't forget, Arcmada, the amazing sci-fi fantasy campaign setting for the world's greatest role-playing game. Be sure to check them out at store.mageandpress.com. Up next, we have Roll20. It's the platform we use here at the Wandering Society to play all of our games. It's easy to use, intuitive, and it now comes with dark mode. Be sure to check them out at roll20.net. We're also sponsored by Telsorian Games. Telsorian Games make great RPGs, and they've been doing so since the early 90s. Check their books. They've got Cyberpunk Red, which Simon tells me has been played here extensively, Castle Falkenstein, which also has been played here, and The Witcher, which has also been... Okay, we get it! Check them out at your FLGS or online at rtelsoriangames.com. Have you ever wanted to wake up and smell the coffee? Well, now you can with this next sponsor, Found Familiar. Get yourself some damn good coffee at foundfamiliar.com and use the code on the screen to get 15% off. What do you mean I can't drink coffee? What the fuck is felt? And we couldn't end this segment without talking about our good friends at Die Hard Dice. That's right. As a Dice affiliate, we are proud to partner with Die Hard Dice to bring you only the best in shiny click-clacks. Click-clacks? What is... Ow. You can check their ever-growing collection over at dieharddice.com and use the link below to get 15% off. You're putting this all on me? I better get a cut.
Good evening. My mic's working tonight. Close your eyes and imagine, if you will, the skyline of a metropolitan area. It is slightly overcast. The light of the moon barely peeks through the clouds and the smog. Down below, hundreds of specks of light, red and yellow, go to and fro along the arteries and side streets of the city. The hub of the nightlife barely makes it up here above the tallest skyscraper. In the distance, the shining cross of the Mount Royal presents itself like a beacon of hope in a world of darkness. A plane takes flight. Then something obscures the moon for the briefest of instants. A bloated form, round almost, bearing bat-like wings. It zips across the sky and lands against the side of a building. Its claws burrow deep in the stone. It scans the city, where our story takes place, with wary eyes. From its perch, kine seem like nothing more than insects. And then, as if it heard some inaudible sound, it perks its head and takes flight once more. Montreal, it seems, has a new visitor. I am Simon at Wandering DM, and I will be your storyteller for tonight. Now, let's continue on with our story, shall we? Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to episode 9 of Montreal by Night. As I said before, I'm Simon. I'll be your storyteller. Before we go back to where we left off last week, let's check in with the cast. I say kind of looking above my head because I know y'all are all above me on the overlay. Let us begin with... We'll do the opposite order I think we did the intros last week. So we'll begin with our good friend Arthur. How's it going?
After that little intro, and looking in chat, it's not paranoia when they are out to get you. That's how it's going. So hey everybody, Pope here, Pope World on Twitter, Pope World on Twitch. I love all your streams. So I am back with these wonderful folks playing Arthur Porter. Both of us use he, him pronouns. And yeah, there's not too many things within Kindred Society that beat that specific description. And those that typically do are trouble.
No idea what you're talking about.
That trouble has a capital T and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pain.
Speaking of pain and the heaping amount that was dealt last week, hi, Flory.
Oh, hi. I'm your friendly neighborhood Prax. At Dear John on Twitter, and Prax Growth has me a foray as you see me around here on Twitch. And I get to play Flory, or Ravnos. Both of us use she, her pronouns. And she is here to do a murder. She's getting paid for it. And it'll be beautiful. Beautiful. Everything's going to be fine. Oh, except, for that thing that starts with T and that rhymes with P.
Did you say that everything's coming up, Ravnos? For me
Possibly.
and for you?
Definitely for me. I don't know about for you.
I'm Trooper SJP, and
I was going to, but...
Yeah, so
Let's
it's
go
right
ahead.
there.
Yeah.
And I'm playing Lucky, who uses he, him pronouns, and I am your fairly, chill Bruja, who's chill until the beast takes over and then he kills somebody. But other than that, he's super cool. His beast is different, but he's pretty mellow.
And this entire thing is lacking in music.
For me and for you.
Aside from that.
I hear
You do?
music.
I did hear
Yeah.
music. Now my music.
I hear music playing.
I don't, so there's problem on my end.
Well, again, daughters of cacophony happen.
We know one.
No.
She's real nice most of the time.
I got
most
it.
of the time.
And then you mess with her friends, and then she's not nice. But I think that's a valid response.
Mhm.
That often happens.
So...
Not the messing with friends, just that there's some people who you mess with their friends and then
Well,
they kill you.
speaking of messing with friends, I think we're gonna start in media res tonight. With Flory reaching the... we'll wind the clock back just a couple of minutes to where we ended last week, but Flory, we can see a wide angle wide angle camera view, and we see Flory's car driving across the parking lot of the McGill University. Reaches the very, very lavish RV.
No. I parked the stolen vehicle in the parking deck away from the
RV.
Intentionally, because it's a stolen vehicle.
My bad. Darting across the parking lot to a remote corner. you have I believe, still unconscious Steve with you.
And duct taped.
Yep. How do you carry Steve from this remote place into your RV? Just like firemen carry him around, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's also, I make no sound. And then anything I carry doesn't make sound when I'm carrying him. He's unconscious. He's duct taped.
Yeah, no, I meant like visually for, if...
Oh, no. She just literally like... So the advantage of stealing this particular vehicle, and she paid attention to stealing a late model vehicle, is there's a unit of measurement in her circles called a 2 or 3 Hoffa trunk. It's an important unit of measurements.
Is this his legacy?
No, his legacy is the Meadowlands. We all know this. Or some other portions of Secaucus, but probably the Meadowlands. And a hockey duffel bag. Because having known many, many hockey players, it is the second largest gear bag. Only thing that beats it out is the gear bag for linemen for football players. And she will pop the trunk, lift him, put him in bag, close the trunk, and then just walk out of the parking deck with a hockey bag.
And you just look like someone who's coming back from, or going to late night practice. Probably coming back from late night practice.
Yeah, exactly. And then
you reach your RV, no problem. I mean, you've crossed a few people who were also like on their way home after either like late night study session or something that ran over. There's a handful of cars, really, in the parking lot. Nothing more.
And even though she doesn't actually, Prax, do not endorse this. What she does is she's walking across, is she just has her phone in her hand and is flipping through it. The universal "don't talk to me" symbol.
Mm-hmm. No, you
don't actually do that if you're walking alone at night across the campus. Just don't. That's your PSA for the night.
Unless you have special vampiric powers.
Exactly.
So you reach the RV without a fuss. I wager you just dump the bag somewhere in the RV before making your way to Arthur.
Yeah.
He still hasn't woken up.
It's okay. She'll like loosen the top of the zipper just enough that, he's still breathing. He's not going to be for long, but he's currently still breathing.
And do you drive immediately to Little Italy?
She'll take a slightly circuitous route. More to just double check that nobody's actively tailing her at the moment. Than being, but that's about it.
I mean, there are some very sinuous and wow. The opposite of wide.
Narrow?
Not shallow.
Winding?
Narrow, thank you. Sinuous and narrow roads in Montreal that the RV can't possibly turn into. So your detour is rather huge. One would say golden ratio-like until you get to Arthur's place. And there was like a cop car that followed you for like 2 or 3 blocks. Probably they were checking out, your license and to see like, who the hell is this? Can we do anything about them? But you're not in their database anyway. Like,
No.
tourist.
no, I'm a tourist, but I have a background. I have an ID that will pass federal.
Yeah, no, but what I mean is, since you're not, like, you don't have a Quebec license plate,
No.
they would have to, like, widen the search, and just to satisfy their curiosity tonight, like, that's too much effort for them, so they left you alone after about, like, 2 or 3 blocks. You've seen a few people sort of gaze at the RV, mostly out of, like, bewilderment or wonder, but no one on your tail. You reach Arthur's place.
And she'll pull the RV, like, probably the block behind Arthur's along the road. And just before she walks in, she'll pull her personal phone, because there's the professional phone that Artie and everyone else here has. There's the public phone, which is the one, you know, the burner that she uses when she has to make certain other things, like, you know, call the cops and 911 when she needs to report a fire. It just happened. And but she pulls her personal phone and texts Zalmati, "Oh my god, I had to actually hit somebody with my fist tonight. Why do I do this again? Anyways, hope your night's going better." And then just puts the phone away and then walks inside with the duffel bag.
Tonight there is an answer that comes back right away. There is a first to everything.
You're not wrong, but you still would probably have hit him better.
I need to check something about Zalmati.
I feel like Simon has been talking to that player behind the scenes without our knowledge. That's just my guess.
I don't know.
I think how in touch with current technology would Zalmati be?
I think it walks a line, right? Like, because we both we have to keep up with a certain level of technology because we both have those public IDs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have to know how things like security technology works, how...
Yeah, so yeah, there's a level of, that awareness.
You know, like, programming, probably not. Like, you know... But things like, I know how to, you know, operate a cell phone and, you know, recognize different alarm systems and, you know.
Yeah, he would send you, as a reply to your message, he just sends you a GIF of Muhammad Ali knocking out a dude in a punch. Like, not the, like, the picture that everyone knows about.
Yeah.
But just like a recording of just a punch, and then another message that says, need to go silent for a few, have work to do.
Have fun and don't enjoy yourself too much. Or if you do, remember to make sure you clean up everything after yourself. And I might be having fun later this week too. Have fun. Bye. And she just puts the phone away.
How does she spell bye?
How many E's?
This is what I want to know.
She, see, the thing is, I think she just puts B-Y and then I and then an E at the end. It's 3, by I-E.
There doesn't seem to be a consensus in chat.
Mm-hmm.
But that said, by this time, I'd wager Arthur's security cameras have picked up your your approach. Arthur, if you're looking at the feed, you would see Flory lugging around a rather... I mean, it's as large as any hockey bag, but it seems heavier than what you would have in it normally.
Yeah. Now, seeing that, Arthur's going to make a quick change of clothes. As changing into a butcher's smock, a white painter's jumper, medical gloves underneath some heavier latex gloves,
Mm-hmm.
and just getting the operating room prepped. Considering if they're in the bag, means I might need to fix them before I talk.
Makes sense.
And you can tell, Artie, that Flory is only careful with the bag when she gets to the doors of your residence, not because she cares about what's in the bag, but because she doesn't want to scuff your walls.
Appreciate it.
Rajul, I bring you a present and someone who's going to die very soon.
How bad is it?
Well, and she'll pull out like the portable hard drive that she downloaded everything onto. So, good news or bad news, or we have concerns?
I just need to know if I have to get into my Capri Suns to bring this fellow around.
Oh no, we might get into that in a little bit. He'll be fine for a little while. Yeah, he'll be fine for a little while. So good news, videos were limited. Bad news. Have you been paying attention to a little, case that's going to trial in the next week?
No, I've been busy busy being surprised at how little influence the locals have with everything.
Well, here's a thing for you. There's a personage, a Lieutenant Emmanuel Munez. He was a Montreal police detective. He gets called into apparently a special task force division, whatever. I don't know. You have funny words for things. Yeah, that. And apparently he was actually there the night of everything went boom. And he left his body cam on.
So that's the leak.
Yeah, it gets a little worse. See, he's currently on trial for falsifying evidence and releasing it, and attempting to blackmail his superiors. So he got pissed when he got fired and handed this to his his brother-in-law, and she gestures to the duffel bag. With the sister. And with the promise of perhaps, more that could be released, and the guarantee that even more will happen because he's never going to actually get fired or, convicted, because he was there and apparently he's hunter bait. So, by the way, he's going to disappear into the woods. He went camping. His house is burning. His house didn't burn down. I made sure it didn't burn down. His computer burned up, though.
All right. definitely was the right time to invest in public works.
Yeah. But I don't know if you had any other questions. I know you were talking about getting involved with the police department in general, and I figured if you had anything else you wanted to know about that in particular, I should bring him here before he disappeared in the woods, to be found in about 4 days.
Well, no asking questions. I don't need to put on the rest of the gear. Here, let me lug him on down to our operating theater. See just how much you've done.
Oh, I only broke his nose. Oh, and I gave him a shave the hard way.
So I am going to have to patch him up. Got it.
It was just duct tape.
When you bring the bag, they're usually rough.
Oh, I just had to carry him across the campus.
Yeah. Still, I'm just glad this time it's not leaking.
No, that has always been a mess. I don't do that. It was once, and honestly, it was the swamp's problem, not the body. I can't control swamp.
No, I do not. I'm just glad we're not dealing with Atlanta. And heads into the operating theater, puts the bag on top of the freezer, unzips, and let us see the state that Steve is in.
His hands are still duct taped behind him. His ankles are still duct taped, and she re-duct taped his mouth before she took him out.
He's in, we could call that rough shape.
Okay. So, surgical mask and a cowl goes on as we move unconscious, bound Steve to the operating table. He's looking pale.
He is looking like someone who is in, I'm not going to say desperate need of blood transfusion, but he's in desperate need of maybe like the cookie they give you after you donate blood.
Well, before he's roused, I'm going to run a line in him just in case I need to put blood in him. And saline is probably get a juice box, an actual juice box for him. I got a juice around here somewhere.
Like human juice, you mean?
Yeah, well, apple.
Okay, yeah. Just needed to make sure that you weren't talking about vampire juice that you would then,
No.
Blood that you would then plug into him.
But no, if he gets like a few quarts low, then I'll see about putting some in him.
I just need to. Flory, last time I do believe I told you he would need like at least an hour and a half or something more than that, right? Before waking up.
That was the first time.
The first time,
unconscious.
Yeah. So this time, unless something is done, you're looking at maybe a most optimist scenario. That'll probably take him 2 hours. Most probable, he might just come to tomorrow.
Nah, he's coming to now. We're going to do now. I am patient, but not in this case.
Okay.
So if you want to, I will make a medicine check to bring Steve back.
Well, yeah, sure. Give me that medicine check.
Right? And what do you want? Intelligence, wits, resolve?
In this case, you have time in front of you. So you can assess the situation and all that. So we'll go with intelligence, because you don't have to think quickly.
Okay.
He's going to wake up at some point, just you want to make it faster.
And since I have the lab, that's 2 backbones. And difficulty.
We'll go with, he took 3 damage, so we'll go with difficulty 3.
Okay. Okay. 3 it is.
Then, yeah. After a few minutes of, what is it you do, like CPR? Out the
yeah.
mouth?
No, we're again, run a line in him. Make sure he's getting plenty of fluids, and then make sure he's properly restrained, and then we'll pump him with like some vitamins, some potassium.
Okay, so like the hospital way.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Give it about 45 minutes. And you can see his eyes begin to flutter. His breathing becomes a little more audible, a bit raspy. But yeah, he's coming to slowly. Question, did you drug him? Follow-up
No.
question, which body parts of his are still taped?
Oh, did
Um,
I drug him?
No, any one of you.
Oh.
The question is for vampires at large.
I'm not going to drug a subject, not least in this situation, but I do have zip ties, and I am very fond of them. So we're going to zip tie the legs together, but also this is an operating table. I'm going to zip tie him to the table.
So the moment he finally wakes up, like you'll see him struggle, try to get his arms up, and then he just looks at his feet, and then left, right.
Hello, sunshine.
Is Flory in his field of vision?
No, Flory's posted up next to the wall, like leaning against it and, crossing her arms, waiting. But this is Artie's time and fun. And she just...
Okay.
But she doesn't get in the way.
So he's like, oh fuck. Look,
Nice.
man, I need my kidney. I don't know what she told you.
Trust me, Steve.
Fuck.
If I was going to part you out, you wouldn't be coming to. So,
Know my
No.
name?
I know a lot of things, but you can fill in a number of gaps, and that'll be very useful. Now, my intent is just to ask you questions since I brought you back around, put you some fluids, might send you home with a juice box. But right now, I need answers to questions. So, about your brother-in-law.
Fuck.
I,
Yeah. I'm yawning, he's not.
Yeah. I need as many details on him as you have. Address, friends.
Look, man, if you're pissed that like my brother-in-law killed a bunch of your kind, like I understand. Just I don't want to die,
I know that, Steve. The urge to live is a strong one. And I have no intent on killing you. That being said, I am old and ornery, And whilst I don't entirely disapprove of what occurred here previous, it has left you and your brother-in-law have made a particular kind of mess. And I need to be able to clean that mess up, which means I need to know all about your brother.
All right. All right. Well, dire need of coffee for Simon. Can you make Can you make charisma intimidation for me?
All right.
And we're not looking at a specific difficulty. You can put difficulty 1 if you want.
All right.
I just want to see like the impact of just this entire situation, the events. And by the way, you can give yourself a bonus die because of everything that Flory did to the kid as well.
All right.
Because that counts as a help action for sure.
Fair enough. I got one. I'm more persuasive than I am intimidating. But then again, I haven't rearranged my face yet.
Yeah, you haven't used your Cain given gifts. He's still afraid. He is scared.
All right.
There's you can see though in his eyes that there's like a glimmer of hope.
That's the bad thing about hope. It's awfully temporary.
Yeah. But not hope that he can save anyone or whatever, but hope that you're actually truthful.
I haven't lied to him yet.
And so he says, okay, well, what do you want to know, man? His name? Emmanuel Muniz.
I know the name. I need to know who his friends are, where he hangs out, current address, family members, things like that.
Well, he's married to my sister, because, brother-in-law thing. He lives in the South Shore. In Broussard. Do you need, like, his address?
Well, if you don't remember the address, I know nowadays everything's programmed, so you don't necessarily have it all up here. That's fine. But again, he has definitively given you those materials, and you definitely are family and have spent time with him. Like, again, there's habits every cop has. And some of those habits are they have very particular friends in the force. They hang out at very specific places because not everybody caters to them.
Oh, yeah, you mean the cop bar. Yeah.
Yeah, where is that?
So he only brought me there once. But shit, what's the name of it? It's man. What'd you call that? The thing with the bullets in the Matrix. The slow time.
Bullet time?
No, bullet time. Yeah, bullet time. Yeah. It's the bullet time. It's in Longueuil, in old Longueuil.
The more you leave the South, the more you run into it. Now, these are some odd questions I'm going to ask. I'm not going to lie, but like, favorite drink? What's his preferred beverage?
Well, I mean, in the family, we're all super fond of the tequila grandma makes, but, like, it's not something you're gonna find at a bar. It's, like, homemade. Like we get a bottle of it Christmas, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But otherwise, he, I don't know, beer. Why do you want to know that?
You'd be surprised how important it is to know certain affectations if you're going to have a conversation.
You're not gonna
Yeah.
kill him?
I don't really intend to, honestly. I am more akin to asking questions and using the power of persuasion. I'm a very persuasive individual. Now, that being said, I can tell you're still very stressed in the pupils of your heart rate. I need you to calm down and focus, because otherwise this is going to be a very long night for both of us. Well, I'd rather cut you loose sooner than later. So here's the deal. I need you to look closely, right here, fella.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use awe on him.
Oh, shit. Yes. I do believe that he doesn't have a roll, though, against it.
Yes, he does. It is my manipulation presence versus his composure and intelligence.
But isn't that only conditional? Like if they have a reason
It's only if they're aware that you're using it on him, yeah.
Okay.
So he doesn't know at the moment.
Yeah, well.
So sad for him.
But I will require a rouse check.
No, that's fair.
No, awe doesn't cost a rouse check.
Ooh. Ooh,
It's
is
free.
free.
Yeah, it's free.
Ooh.
Yeah. Things you do for power. Oh, so. Yeah, he's going to. We're going to be friends right now, Steve.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I need you to relax and I need you to focus. So, we got the bar, beer and tequila. Again, family. Do his parents live here in Montreal?
I don't know about his parents. Like, I don't know a lot about the guy. He's like, I mean, he's cool, like at parties and stuff, but like he's been married to my sister for like 2 years. They've been dating for like 8 before, so.
Oh, slow to the yeah, let's make sure there's patience. Hesitance, one of them. Steve,
Huh?
want you to concentrate. Now, I know you gifted one of these discs to just a random so-and-so who was like brandishing something at the time. Why'd you do that?
You mean the guy with the crowbar?
Yeah. I need to know why.
I thought he was going to fuck me up, man. So I just, you know, you get mugged, you give him everything and you run.
You are a fit lad.
Kind of, yeah.
You let that tub of lard intimidate you?
No disrespect, sir, guy, but I've seen what your kind does on that video. And like, I thought it was one of you. Like, no, man, I'm not. I didn't know. I saw, like, I'm going into this apartment, right? Because I'm trying to find stuff. I'm trying to find more proof, because, you know, Manuel got kicked out of the force, and there's no more videos. So I need more after the, like, 2 I'm putting out, you know? I was like, maybe I can find something. So I go there, and yeah, like, seems like there's nothing, and I'm about to come back. And then that shit happens. The guy, I mean, come on, it's just, it was one of you, right? Like you can tell
No.
me.
It wasn't one of us. You let a failed rapper scare you.
Oh man, for real?
Yes. And then that disc got out into the public. And that's a problem. Because
Oh,
we don't advertise.
Oh man, that wasn't the only guy.
That wasn't the only guy. Who else was there?
He sold about like 100 copies.
Is the list of those who have those on your computer?
100 copies? You only found one thing.
I don't have a list.
Didn't keep records.
Then what?
Didn't keep any records? How'd you get the money?
Cash. They just,
Cash
people
only.
pay cash. Like at first I just, you know, was on the street, like busking, kind of, like just pestering people, and then I got a couple, and then I just, you know, had like phone, and I would show them like nothing that, like, you know, shows stuff, but like people thought that it was all like cool special effects, and that was like my portfolio or something. So like it worked. I mean, yeah.
I need to know where you were busking, Steve.
Oh, by the La Fontaine Park. So, to all of you players, the La Fontaine Park in our map of Montreal is actually right across the street from, where the fuck is my map? There we go. Right across the street from the Notre Dame Hospital, which is the domain of one Antonio Andrade. Actually, Simon just mixing things up. I might be. No, I'm not. Yeah, that's it.
And you're doing this all during the day?
Day, evening, like
Evening.
like not at night. I went back home, you know.
Well, we've got a problem here, Steve. Because that, as much as, you know, some folks are going to just go cool effects, keep that on.
Huh?
There's going to be some people that are going to become conspiracy theorists, obsessives, maybe inspired by that video. And that's not good. or either humanity or us, because that causes conflict. When that happens, people get hurt. So I want you to think real hard at probably not going to remember all the folks that you sold to, especially those that you were busting to, but later on, when you are meeting people. Was it all at Longfontaine? Did you set up some drops?
Yeah, I was always in the park on the bench. And he retells you basically what Alex told you the first time. You know, the meeting on the bench, on the park. Like, the what little investigation Alex had done. Because it seems like that now that you think of it, because Alex lied to cover up Lil Joe. But what Steve is telling you now tonight, when he describes like the meeting point, the meetups and all that, is what Alex told you. So in a way, Alex must have had either a lucky guess or he has
Antonio told him
info. Or Antonio told him. Because it's true that Antonio did disappear during your first meeting.
I'm getting a little but we'll put a pin in that for later. Okay. That's unfortunate. I understand. You can make a living. Just that's going to be deeply problematic. Because we are living in a city full of steeples. And religious zealots tend to cause issues, not just for everyday folks, but some of us more night owls. Now, your brother-in-law is being tried for issues. Has he secured a lawyer, or has the police union given him?
No, he got fired from the force, man.
Yeah, but still, with ties until the determination is absolutely finalized, they can still request a union lawyer.
I don't know how these things work, but I don't think he does, because he was real pissed at me. Mind you, no, the last time we spoke, he was like fine. So I don't know, maybe he did get a like union lawyer thing you're saying, sir. I don't know.
Oh.
Fuck, my background is still the one from Witcher.
It was snow, nobody cared.
In August.
It happens. Not anymore.
The soul is what's going on inside of our hearts. The snow inside.
If I was more put together, I'd have more questions, Steve. But you have definitely been enlightening. You know, some things have definitely irked me. Not so much on your part. That's understandable.
You're gonna let me go, right?
Yeah, but I can't just cut you loose here. So you're going to go to sleep. I'm going to give you a real nice cocktail of muscle relaxing painkiller. You're going to drift on. Right? You just relax.
And then, yeah, as you administer it, he tries to... Like, you can see him begin to panic. You're all not enough to quell his fear of death.
And as he's falling asleep, Motherlock lies with him and use cloud memory. because it would never be too sure.
So you're making him forget.
This entire conversation.
He. So it'll work. I don't know if Steve is going to survive, right? However, I am going to ask a roll as if he was resisting.
Mhm.
For my own curiosity. Not like he has a whole lot of dice anyway.
Fair enough. So,
Wow, that did not work. Anyway, he's got 1 success, so it's a difficulty 1. Also, shouldn't have been an 8, should have been a 6, but it doesn't make a difference.
so
There won't even be any like latent images or nothing.
we are through. I wouldn't bite him or anything like that for at least the next 90 minutes.
Oh no, I'm not going to bite him at all. I'm
Oh.
sorry. I wasn't going to bite him at all. He's going to have a very fatal accident in the woods.
Fair enough.
I have his phone. Oh, by the way, here's the hard drive.
Thank you.
And he's going camping in an attempt to do his found footage bullshit.
Mhm. Yeah.
Such a shame if you're so focused on the phone you don't pay attention to things like ditches and crevices or cliffs.
All right. Just
But
be careful. There's fuzzies in them woods.
I know I'm not going near him. I'm intentionally not going near a couple people, but don't want him too far from the city.
Yeah, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to secure your services for the longer term.
Oh, do I get to kill the brother-in-law now too?
Not entirely certain just yet. I'd rather have the legal system put him away either behind bars or a padded cell. For the
I don't
rest
think
of
that's going
his-
to happen.
Yeah. Give me some time. Courts are slow. Oh,
Yeah, the thing is that he was talking. There's a couple emails in the thing.
yeah.
Munoz himself was talking about the fact that he was brought in on this hunter as part of the hunters, and that he knows too much shit for them to let him go. Apparently, the hunters have been outsourcing.
Either way, I have a feeling that we're going to have a conversation with Lieutenant. I just want to make certain it's not one he realizes he's in.
Oh, I can have that conversation.
I think you're a good starting point, but I want to have a one-on-one with Manuel.
Okay. So you don't need me for the rest of the night, right?
No, but since there's 100 of these discs out there, I have a feeling there's going to be other problems that crop up, and this is distinctly on Andrade, not policing his shit.
Am I concerned? I have some concerns. My concern is that he says there's 100 discs out there, but we can't find any further footage online. What are the odds that every single disc he sold ends up in the hands of either the Inquisition or us?
It depends. Either somebody at that meeting hasn't been forthright, which I already know of two. One which is a innocent mistake brought on by a lack of a sire's responsibility. The other is someone who should know.
I agree with all those statements.
but this place has an awful lot of churches, and I wouldn't be too surprised if the Inquisition doesn't have
Well,
best of collection from back in the day.
no, very true. All right, he's going away. Suffer. Not, unfortunately. Oh, I gotta call your friend, don't I? I'll give him a call. On the road. Have a good one.
All right, take care, forward. Be safe.
Mm-hmm. And she puts him back in the duffel bag, back into the RV, and going. And Flory has been around Montreal for a while.
Yeah, you would know that the two places to avoid, Oka and Kanawage, they're both to, like, let's say the southwest, but they're like one on the north shore, one on the south shore, so it's kind of, for a vampire, your best and your easiest route out of the city would be to go east. Like, so long as you're going east, it's not so bad. If you're going north, if you're going west, that's when things get a little more trickier.
Okay, so she's would definitely be going east, and she's looking for not. I don't know what they are, if this similarly exists in Canada, but oh wait, Simon, I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna message you something just because I don't want to say it out loud.
Sure. Hey chat, how's it going?
I feel like whatever it is, he's so desperately exciting.
I am protecting privacy.
So it's not. Yeah. It's not a national park.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a private park, if you will, but it belongs to the McGill University. It's kind of weird. There are there are several mountains and several places in Quebec that are like that basically have, like, they're not protected by the government, but there's like a private entity that's like, no, we need to preserve this place, so we're going to sort of like stake a claim on it. But there are several places, like Sutton, for instance, that for free people can just go and hike. There are tons of woods. If you go, if you look at a place like, that's not so much woods anymore. If you look at a city such as one called Sorel, Sorel, which was the capital of the Hells Angels for a while, there are places where people disappear. There are woods where,
No, but she thinks about that particular mountain because it's relatively close.
Yep.
To the downtown.
There's also, so that mountain, by the way, like a quarter of it is actually a quarry. Would be a shame if someone tumbled down a cliff into the quarry.
Yeah, looking at the map and looking at their phone and recording on their phone, and
so
they are a city boy who's never actually been camping. Yeah.
Yeah. IRL, there is a person that fell down a cliff and died, and there's a cross now that stands where they fell. I have climbed this mountain. It is very easy. Once you get to the top, if you're not careful, bye-bye.
So she's gonna go there. Because again, relatively close enough that, outside the main city, so cross-jurisdictional lines, so there's that wonderful issue of the body being found and identified versus whatever. She's going to set it up. She probably has in the RV what she and Zalmati have, like a bunch of stuff that they, just like buy cheap at online, when they drive by a Cabela's or a Granger. They do not shop at Walmart.
I have no idea what those two stores are.
Bass Pro Shop.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah, Bass Pro Shop. Cabela's
Yes. Okay. Cabela. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
In that, now that
do
you
the
said
video
Bass
games?
Pro Shop, yeah, now I'm like, oh yeah, the guys from the fishing game.
Yeah. Guys from
Oh,
Michigan.
was it the hunting? Anyway.
Hunting.
Both, actually. But they, like cheap camping gear
Mhm.
that they can, on occasion just make somebody disappear because they went camping.
Mm-hmm.
And it's stuff that isn't really tied to them that they can just are happy to let, it's been a little used, a little worn, so it looks like somebody picked it up secondhand, but it's not enough that anybody can really identify.
Yeah, it's
Set
your
up
make
like a-
someone disappear kit.
One of.
By the
'Cause
way,
it's easy to-
you wouldn't need. So if you're aiming for that mountain,
Yeah.
you won't even need camping material. One, because you're not allowed to stay on the mountain past sundown. So
Okay, then never mind.
the like simplest. Well, I'm just saying so you don't have to use it, because the simplest explanation is, guy ignored the rules. Guy stayed on the mountain. Guy didn't look where he was going because it's dark. Guy fell and died. People aren't gonna ask any questions.
No, but she's going to wait intentionally for it to be dark, because then she's going to take his phone, and as she walks up the mountain, she's going to have it start recording and around as if he's doing found footage on the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Get all the way to the top, drop the phone, shift it so that it starts panning a little bit, shift it into his, doesn't want to have problems with the timeline really, so she's just going to let it shift and then lean a little too far over and let it fall out of her hand as if it's going to fall first, then remove the duct tape that was over his wrists and ankles, which was over and then just bye-bye.
That
And she's done this enough that she knows how to not make it look like he was pushed.
Yeah, if you saw that quarry, it's okay. They're not. He fell from so high that I don't think they can find out if he was pushed or not.
It's actually one of the easiest and fastest
Really?
calculations that an unattended death is done at, because it's the distance from how far the body will fall from the wall determines if somebody's been pushed, they jumped, or if they just fell.
Yeah, because if you were pushed, then there's like
You're further
momentum
out.
to your yeah.
And it's one of the, and because I don't know how it is in Canada, but I'm assuming it's relatively similar. It's an unattended death has to be verified by a coroner.
Yeah, I think so.
So if like a doctor doesn't attend to the death, there has to be some sort of basic investigation. So
Yep. Oh no, they do that
because
for.
this
There's
would-
an autopsy that's conducted on everyone.
So this would be a basic, so her this is one of her basic skills of like, I know this well enough. I know how to make it look like he just was discording and he wasn't paying attention and just fell, versus I shoved him over the side.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one of the first things that people will check for.
Since this is very clever,
Mm-hmm.
can you give me wits and subterfuge?
Oh, I can do that.
And your successes will basically determine if anyone like looks into the death, what is the difficulty that they would have to be to like just have the suspicion that okay, this is not like this was not just a fall.
Okay, so 4 successes.
Okay, so difficulty 4. Let me just make a note of it.
just very good at subterfuge. Lying.
Well, I mean, you're very good at doing the things you do.
Yes.
Come on. Okay. And you will need to go back to Montreal after. Since, like we said, last game, you incur one less stain from murdering him. We'll go with just the one stain. Because you're doing it for the Masquerade. Like it's...
And the paycheck.
Yes.
Mind
you, I don't know what Arthur has promised to pay you.
It's the usual fee. It's significant.
Yeah. I have a standing fee. It's okay. There's a reason I work for RD. Trying to remember where stains go on this sheet.
So the stains is humanity damage.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, as long as it fits with her conviction, she can reduce it by 1.
Oh. Then let's just check for a sec what your convictions were.
Because it doesn't have to be the Masquerade. If she doesn't care about the Masquerade, it's not part of her convictions. That wouldn't help. It has to be part of her convictions.
My convictions?
Yeah, no, but the thing with for the Masquerade,
yeah,
I'm giving it as a -1 because he's the objective you've been going after in order to protect the entire community that was here. Which is why he's worth 1 stain at the moment.
Okay. Oh, I see how that works. Cool. All right.
Yeah. So it's gonna bar
on the far side. Yeah. Then she walks back down the mountain. Gets in the car. Gets in the RV. Drives around. And finds a hotel. And probably by this point, it's a little late, and then it's close to. Maybe not. She'll find a shopping center, like a mall parking lot.
Yeah, it's easier to find a mall parking lot. There's one within 15 minutes. And also, because I know who lives around this mountain, for some reason, your RV doesn't look all that out of place.
Yep.
Amidst the manor houses of the old railroad barons who used to live there. Back when I was living there, I wasn't living in one of the manor houses. I was in the city that was created by the servants of those people.
Yeah, so she'll just pull into a one of those malls and set things up. And
And so that night we're gonna do 2 things. One, we're gonna go to break. But I have to reveal something to all of you before we go to break. Mostly for chat, because the players kind of know that already. Yes, Lucky will have gone to Halifax and come back. If you want to know what happened in Halifax. Between next week and the holidays, New Year's I should say, we're going to have, in our between season break, we're actually going to have 3 separate sessions, one for each player, one with each one with a guest and something that happens to bridge, let's call them season 1 and season 2. So for all intents and purposes, what happened in Halifax stays in Halifax for tonight, and we'll talk about that.
Now
when-
because you said it that way, everybody knows that Halifax is actually Canada's Las Vegas, and the entire place is just full of casinos and shows and like the Blue Man Group, which nobody knew was a secret. That like actually Halifax in the World of
Sure.
Darkness is full of casinos with fountains.
Their Blue Men group is probably just 3 guys playing the accordion. So we'll
Just
be right
one
back.
between the three.
Yeah,
There's only
just
one-
the one accordion. So we'll be right back, everyone. Grab yourself a drink. I know I'm going to grab myself some coffee. Not found familiar because I'm out. But if only because I don't want all my NPCs to yawn in my NPC's face. So stick around, everyone. We'll be back in like 5 minutes. Hey, we're back, everyone. And just in time for the captions to not show all the plans I have for murder. Murder in the game. 2 nights will have passed. Well, 1 night will have passed. Lori slept in her RV. Arthur, well, during the day, I'm sorry. It's all mixed up. And then the night after, I do believe Lucky spent an entire night in a 24-hour period. So we're going to pick back up after the 24-hour period. You're muted, Trooper.
Unmuted. There's like a 7 o'clock, 7:30 flight that'll get you into like around there. That'll get you. And I checked when the sun went down at this point in time. So sun's down. There's like a flight you get like 7:30 or 8. It'll get you into Halifax like, pretty decently, and then you can like spend the whole time, and then you get the flight back the next night.
Yeah. So
Which would put us at, if I'm correct, is this day 5 Saturday?
No, it's day 6.
yeah, day 5. Day 5
you're right.
was going.
Mm-hmm.
Day 5 was the
To-
night was going to Halifax.
Yes, that's correct.
Because that's the night I spent sleeping in the mall parking
Yeah.
lot.
So I hate that I've put day and dawn and. So we are the 6th night
Yes.
at the moment when our events pick back up.
Yeah.
Which means, by the way,
It's gonna be a Monday night.
we'll go over very quickly, but everyone can lower their hunger back to 1.
Why?
There-
What did we?
You would have fed. I mean, yes, things might happen in Halifax, but also when you come back,
Yeah.
you're good.
I was like, did we get a bonus? Was it's like a special GM bonus? Like that would be nice.
No, it's more of a end of season bonus kind of.
Oh, that's
It's
nice.
it's the end of the hero's journey. You know,
Oh,
Flory's coming back home, and so the circle is complete,
aw.
and we pick back with a clean slate. Flip the page to our 2nd chapter, and we'll have Lucky land at the Dorval Airport.
And probably of
You-
course head home, to make sure, to drop David off.
Mhm.
And I think that he would probably just after sort of, because we're going to get back home too late for dinner, but everything's dropped off. He'd probably just text. See, normally he would text Artie because that's who he normally texts on these things. But I think he would text Flory instead of Artie and just say, is everything done?
Oh yes, everything's very done.
Great. He'll just say great. That's all he'll say. I think he ponders texting more, but then I think he just doesn't. And he sort of looks at his watch and he realizes it's a little bit too late to go coaching because, that's sort of done because it's a little bit too late. He's come back. Practice is long over. And he'll sort of like look at his room, think about all that happened in Halifax, which was like super intense. You know what I mean? It was like, it was a lot. Especially with the whole, that whole thing with like the whales, right? And that whole like ice pick thing. It was like, it's just a lot. So, like,
Let me
think
just make
about
a
it.
note of that.
He'll then text over to Artie and he goes, you got all your politics done?
Yeah, working on it. Apparently, Andrade was either has helped cause this mess or knew more than he was telling.
He texts back and he goes, oh, good luck with the council meeting. And I think he takes a walk, right? I think because it looks like all's well in Montreal. So I think he's going to go for a stroll. Just take a mosey. He's got a...
Where
Spy-
exactly?
Well, he's got a spy camera store he's supposed to go and get some gear from. Like a little GoPro camera. And yeah, he's going to sort of just go to like a sporting goods store, get like some rope, carabiners, that kind of stuff. Just get some like hiking gear, GoPro, that sort of business. It's just get some equipment.
What is Lucky's resource score?
1. So you can't get like expensive stuff or great stuff.
No, that is
He's not desperate. He's just like a working. He's not middle class. He's a working class.
yeah. Which
I couldn't find it in the book.
I know it's there. There we go.
What page? What page? I was looking.
Portfolio Proletariat, 193.
But yeah. Apartment car camping equipment.
Yeah. With this, what I'll say is, if with all that you've bought tonight, for the next little while,
I'm broke.
you're broke.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like a GoPro is not cheap in 2014.
2014. His phone is not really exciting because it's 2014. I remember like when 2014 was. It was like so long ago.
Yeah, it was so long ago.
He would have just gotten like, if not even he would have just gotten like a cheap camera that you can get, right? Like something that's cheap because he's doesn't have lots of money. Like a dashboard camera, some kind of a thing that you could have on him for that. As cheap as he can get, and then like some climbing rope, carabiners, like a little light, maybe a little climbing helmet.
So the cool thing is
cheap camping gear.
Yeah, 2014 was the year that it started like getting very much more popular. You had 12 whole megapixels.
Ooh, that's so fancy.
Yep.
I have a Razer phone that's a flip phone. I'm just saying it feels way more fancy than mine.
Oh yeah. I mean, with one resource, you could not buy the version that allows you to film in 4K. But you can do like 30 frame per second 1080p.
Oh.
If it's good enough for streaming.
That's all you need.
In 2022, it's good enough.
Yeah, and I think he'd scrape that up because Artie had told him to go get some of that stuff. So he does. He's like, just getting some stuff in case you have a little bit more debris removal than necessary, I think is what he would do. And sort of gathering that all up, then he'd sort of put into his gearbox. And I think he would walk the neighborhood. So I think that's what he's doing for the next like sort of time period, a little bit of shopping, a little bit of moseying, just to make sure nothing is needed. You know what I mean? Like he's doing like errands until a little bit later in the evening.
Can you make a wits plus awareness roll for me, please?
Mm-hmm. 4 successes out of 2. 4 successes.
You do notice, for the briefest of instants, some sort of winged creature fly across the sky. And I mean, like, zip across the sky. We're talking not a blink and you'll miss it, but it is faster than birds, sure. It's maybe as fast as a bat would be, except that was clearly not the size of a bat.
May I ask a question? And you can tell me, you can be honest. Is it a palmetto bug? Like a giant flying cockroach? This is what I need to know, because that would be unacceptable.
We do not have that in Canada.
Okay.
And it's kind of one of the reasons, one of the few reasons I would stay here. Is right. I'm not going south of, like, I don't know, Delaware, because palmetto bugs. Deirdre introduced me to them, and
no, they're not okay.
I would have preferred never knowing about them.
Same. So this is not a palmetto bug. So it's way less distressing. Cool.
But you might have the same kind of distress, like this primal fear of such a thing should not exist.
Is it bigger than a palmetto bug?
Imagine it's like human shape, human size.
Oh, okay, so it's like a human-sized palmetto bug.
It's like a human-sized palmetto bug, but
yeah, that's not okay.
You're pretty certain it also had a tail. Like, it might have been a pterodactyl.
Right. I'm gonna take a photo of it with my flip phone. It will be a bad photo, I'm certain.
Well, no, you've got 4 successes, so I will give you this. It's an okay photo.
Oh.
You caught it on time with 4 successes. That it's not like Nessie. But if you show people aren't gonna be like, yeah, no, you just saw like a seagull and you freaked out. Like, you on the picture you can distinctly see that it has bat wings.
Okay.
It could be someone cosplaying as Batman doing some sort of like base jumping. But it was a little too fast for that. And the way it flew, it sort of swooped down just under cloud level. That's where you saw it. And then it rose back into the clouds and completely disappeared.
I'm going to get a newspaper.
Yes.
Just
there are many.
I'm going to get a newspaper. And I'm going to go to Artie's restaurant. Just head over there.
What the Silvios?
What, the Hunter's Green?
Oh, you're going to the club, not the restaurant.
Oh, what is the name of your restaurant?
Well, the restaurant where we hung out with in Little Italy is Silvio's. The club downtown is
yeah, so he'll go to Silvio's, and he's just going to text, I'm heading to Silvio's. ... And then he's going to text Flory, I'm heading to Silvio's ...
You get an immediate text back from Flory. Order me an espresso. I want the lemon. I'll be there in 5.
And he's going to order the espresso, by the way, because he knows. And he's going to just check the newspaper while he's waiting for them to arrive, just to see if there are any kind of, things in the newspaper that maybe that just in case people might have said something. I'm sorry, it's 2014, I have no idea, but if there's like a trashy tabloid of the style of the Weekly World News, which always has stories about like Batboy and whatnot in Montreal, then he would also get one of those.
Our tabloid is called Allo Police. Like Hello Police.
he will also get that because
It is
tabloids-
trashy as fuck.
yeah. Tabloids say trashy things, so he's going to look at both the newspaper and the Allo Police to see if there's anything that might, if anybody else has seen this thing that he saw. Yeah.
You flip through tonight's it should be yesterday night's.
Yeah.
Or well, yesterday, yeah, I mean the day, and then so if it happened yesterday night, it would be in that issue. Let me see. Oh my god, the Yellow Place is actually discontinued. Well, not in World of Darkness then. In World of Darkness it's still going
the
on.
World of Darkness, right? So of course the tablet has to continue.
Yeah, that's a shame. It was discontinued in 2003.
Oh. Inappropriate.
But yes, let's look at nope, not this one. This is super transphobic. Let's oh there you go. We have one here. So there is there's the thing on the front page, the thing that makes all the news is that there's a guy in Gaspé who ends up looking exactly like someone who had died, someone who died 10 years ago. He looks exactly like this, the sketch that the police had done back then when the person disappeared, and it's the tabloids are no, he's actually been replaced, and it's one of the gray men or the lizard people, and yeah. Just because the guy happens to look, let's say 60% like the police sketch,
or there's, I'm gonna just relook at the tabloid because I know some things about the world that it's like this the world that we're in is it's like a world of darkness, and there might be supernatural things in it, and I feel like that might be more likely to be reported in
and there's apparently
tabloids.
another thing in the tabloid about a lawyer who reanimates the dead.
I'm just noting these things might all be fiction, but just in case.
He might actually be a Nazi.
Oh, okay. Does
but
he have Hitler's brain in a jar?
Yeah, I'm not his ideologies are Nazi. He might be, an immortal SS officer.
Yes, that's
living in Montreal.
Possible.
Yeah,
that's entirely possible. And I think I'm going to be going through the legit newspaper, the Montreal Sun or whatever it is, the Montreal paper.
It's the Montreal Journal.
And the tabloid's waiting for these two to show up.
Lori flounces in.
Come on over.
Mm-hmm.
Have a seat. Did you know that there's an immortal Nazi who has Hitler's brain in a jar, who's a lawyer and who reanimates the dead?
I thought that guy died. No, I'm pretty sure we murdered him. And she legitimately pulls out a phone and starts going through. No, he's dead.
Oh,
yeah.
I can confirm he's dead.
The actual person they're referring to is a guy who essentially fills out lawsuits for dead people. But not like he's suing someone, suing a company for a wrongful death or whatever. He's a dude who will just create class action lawsuit using the name of a bunch of dead people.
Well, dead people need rights too.
So says the dead person.
Yeah. And I think he'd try to hit the kitchen area where that's a bit more private. And he goes, so everything's okay?
Oh yeah, he'll be found in about 3 days. She ships to the camp
Yeah,
immediately.
And I was
He'll
like,
be done in
"Good."
about 3 days. He had a horrible accident. He wasn't paying attention when he was walking in the woods with his phone, and walked right off of a cliff into a quarry. Horrible way, but this is what happens when you don't pay attention to the things and go into the woods after dark.
So, was there any? Did he have any? So nothing, no larger connections to anything, yeah?
Yes, actually. To the hunters. Isn't that great?
Well, I mean, they'd have to since it was footage of the.
No, I mean like actual personal connection to them.
Well, would he explain?
Oh, his brother-in-law was legitimately part of the raid and murdered a whole bunch of people. And, is blackmailing the cops to get back into the job that he got fired from for, falsifying evidence.
Oh. Well.
And is very connected. So we're going to probably murder him too. He's on the list.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, also, and apparently he sold it to like 100 more discs than we expected. And she just picks up the espresso with that and just sips it. Which means that obviously somebody was lying about a lot of things because we didn't find 100 more, 100 more videos means that somebody should have put them up on the internet at least once. The fact that there isn't any means that they sold them either to all kindred or all hunters. Rajul!
Hello, everybody.
And Artie, Lucky stands up when Artie comes in, and then sits down after Artie sits down. Did you tell the council about it? Have they all been informed?
Oh, I haven't really had time to tell everybody. And considering that there's a number of lingering ties, I don't know if we certainly couldn't. I definitely need to talk to Andrade and see why the fuck he held out or why the hell he screwed up.
By the way, she would say, oh, and I texted your friend Caleb last night.
Oh, good.
Oh. So this is to Artie. So what are you going to do?
See about talking with Andrade, finding out what the hell is going on. Then I'll probably have to act because everyone is being burdened for that. It's more than just using a few of the police and that there are a number of vested interests. Also, maybe light fire under their asses and make it so that they actually invest in this freaking town. Because there are way too many things where no one's got, I haven't found hide nor hair of financial tie.
So this guy sold 100 copies to just whom? To one person?
He was busking right in front of Notre Dame Hospital, park across the street.
Well, and I can't imagine that they've all been rounded up by one person.
No. This, considering his prevalence of doing this and the amount of time, stuff doesn't add up. Now, there may be multiple vested interests that have kept things quiet, but I'd be surprised if the local branch of the Inquisition didn't have a 10-disc set just lying around.
Well, I know everyone says it's a big. I'm not too worried about the Inquisition on this matter because they know what happened.
Yeah,
they know that they know.
But the fact that we haven't had something posted, that there hasn't been more of a kerfuffle, something's up. And I don't know who or what. So either there are folks in that little circle that are holding out and haven't been forthright, or there's more going on than we realize.
Val.
No, there's this her keeping this kind of lid on things for no pay. Fuck no. No, this again, if this sort of thing has not necessarily quite like this happened before, but there has been historical precedent of something where things have gotten out of hand, but multiple vested interests have conspired to want one another to keep things under wraps and weren't necessarily aware of one another's actions. This could be the Inquisition going and keeping things a little tighter, which they've done sometimes in the past. Not often, sometimes.
Honestly, I'm getting that little itch in the back of my neck, you know, right in the little hairs in the back of your neck when it feels like a venture is in town.
Yeah, there could be whoever it is that's poking and prodding has agents here in town already, and that's usually either a venture or the Sombra, or there are more than one survivor from that night, and their hold on the city has not been loose. Or
How are you looking?
somebody in that group, again, has been holding down on us. Who knows?
Well,
Maybe Valois actually did something useful.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what sort of things are all on about. But I don't know. There are a lot of questions, but it seems like it's still at Mr. Vargas and all of that.
Yeah.
But if this is kindred, then I suppose they messed up.
I don't think they messed up.
Well,
the control of information is too good.
No, but that's the mess up.
Oh, you mean that it's so perfect that it's an obvious plant? Possible.
No, I meant it happened, right? This thing, it happened. And the person who recorded it is, you said, being arrested.
No, he's on trial for something else. Although, he got it out beforehand. Probably going to sell a bunch of other information as well.
Well, my point is, he was working with them that night, and he's on trial. He's going to be on trial. The hunters know he has the information, and that he's been selling it. And so if nothing has gotten out, and they didn't do it, they're going to know that some of us are still here.
And she kind of just shifts her eye line to Artie Rajul. I'm informing you in advance. My rate for Inquisition is the same as my rate for Inquisitors of the Sabbat.
One, I respect your rates, and two, if that's something that you've been paid for, it's not going to be out of my own personal pocket. We'll pass a hat.
I'm just informing you of the shift in pay scale.
I understand, and I am not intending on taking on the Inquisition directly. That is the last thing that I want to do. But there's just too many questions and not enough answers. That's my feeling on it. And a lot of this is just a lot of conversations that need to be had and a lot of walking. But I've got a sneaking suspicion that something else is, another shoe's going to drop here.
Well, what are you thinking?
Yeah. You're right. It's been too quiet. And once the kid shows up dead, also between the other instances we know about and we don't know about, somebody's going to do something. Could be the Inquisition, could be one of the locals here. Something's going to happen.
Well, you're the mastermind. You know what's going on here.
I have barely a clue. I just know that I need to shore up Little Italy in my own house.
Well, I mean, you're the one who figured this was Val's doing coming in, and who was a red herring and who wasn't, ghosts and whatnot and all of that. So you seem to have and that there's a dragon and all that. You seem to have a good
dragon?
handle.
Nobody said nothing about the dragon.
No.
Are you talking about his dragon? Or are we
Yes.
talking about actual? Okay,
That's what he
that's
calls
different.
them.
I don't do dragons. We've had this discussion. I don't do giant flying reptiles. I don't do anything. The flying, no. One time, never again.
That was part 2 of the discussion, but I thought we'd get to that after we finished this.
What do you mean, dragon?
No, you said that there was a dragon.
Oh, I refer to, again, my
He was being
clan
metaphorical.
Clan of the Dragon.
Right. That's what I said. That's what I meant when I said it. But you said about no flying things. But that's part 2 of the conversation. I just wanted.
There's a
to
flying thing?
What's the flying thing?
I thought we should finish the big destruction of the dragons, all that first.
No. That's
no.
going to take 3 years, and there's a whole lot of murder and plotting going on. I have an entire family generations that's going back 15 generations that's plotting the entire destruction of the clan. No offense.
None taken.
But giant flying things with wings?
Yeah.
What? Where?
Is this one of those weirdlings things that you mentioned?
No. Weirdlings are
pulls-
bookish.
Yeah,
Things that fly are there's very, very narrow space for flying things. And you said thing, not like swarm bats, like a big bird. But you said thing.
Mhm.
Could you define thing, flying? More descriptive involved, please, and thank you.
Okay. He pulls out his phone and he just opens it up, scrolls with a little text button right over to this little sad little image, but it's a razor, so it isn't color, and he'll just slide it over to Flory first.
Is what's in this image recognizable to someone who grew up in the old world?
It mostly depends who you hung out with.
I mean, I do have a dot in a cult.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask a roll because I don't think Flory would have necessarily hung out with this particular. So go with Intel and occult.
Okay.
Trying to remember.
Number of things that can be, but it's less than 6.
Yes, it is less than 6 in my recollection.
And I'm gonna look for like a difficulty too.
Okay. I got one success.
Do you want to re-roll your one
one
failed
failed?
die?
I mean, I will. Why not?
Willpower, you know.
And it restarts at the beginning of every session. So
I mean, you've got like you got a refresh of at least 2, I'm sure.
no, it's a 4. It's fine.
It's
It's also on a razor.
it could be a great number of things.
Mhm.
I mean, you've heard of gangrels being able to sprout wings and fly? I mean, with all the talk of dragon and stuff, Tsimichi could very well be. And the other could be a gargoyle. But, like, gargoyle means a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, like, she probably would have had at least one run-in with a gargoyle. You know, old world and robbing a bunch of old Ventru and Sabat strongholds. Just
Yeah,
saying.
but that's the thing.
It's not
Yeah.
The
Ventru, it's
gangrels are
Tremere.
the gargoyles are pretty much used to be Tremere. Tremere
Yeah, it used to
specific.
be Tremere. Exactly.
Except with how old you are, by the time you were born, like they were
Yeah.
already freed. They weren't.
Yeah, most of them were freed.
yeah.
And so there's not a big deal. But again, Roma probably would have, she would have at least heard stories about gargoyles that she could think of. So she takes out the phone that she texts Almadi on and texts, "We're going to need a helicopter."
But there is no rapid answer this time. He did say
No.
that he had to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
radio silent.
Yeah, he was going radio silent. She's not well, she's a little
Oh.
concerned because it's 2 nights now. Oh no, it's just 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just 24 hours. So it's just she's not concerned, so she just like, "We're going to need a helicopter," and closes it and puts it away.
Okay, what is this thing? May I see the picture of the dude?
It's on the table. She slides it over.
Yeah.
She goes, "I can think of 3 things and I don't like either of any of them."
Yeah, well, let me see if I can't narrow it down. So
It
Here-
doesn't look like a full real dragon though.
I would like to identify our species from this.
Same thing.
Yeah. Just a question.
Hmm?
Does my specialty, the cult specialty in Zamish, work?
I'll have to say no.
Okay.
Mhm.
But that already gives something away, so
Yes, it does.
I mean, as it's Meech, you like I'll give you that when you roll that you'll be
yeah.
able to eliminate the Zimich suspect from there.
Oh, I'm gonna spend a willpower.
Yeah, because that's a whole lot of fail.
Yeah, that. All right.
But it's not a bad poker hand. That's actually a really good
Mhm,
poker hand, I'm just going to
mhm.
say.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Full
but
house.
we're not playing poker.
With 2 successes out of 2. Yep, it's a gargoyle.
All right. That's a very specific kind of problem. Oh. Now, Law, what the fuck did you do?
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
Well, no. Like, there's a number of things this could be. It could be just one of that clan knowing that Montreal is open season, moving up, and maybe they can be a health part of the community.
No.
Well,
I meant the fact
what are we
that you're
talking about?
you're sure that it actually is one.
As
Oh,
what?
yeah.
Is
Oh,
what?
fuck.
It's gargle. Tremere
See-
did a number of terrible things.
They're Tremere. They're by definition terrible.
including poaching the blood of a number of clans to try and make a slave clan,
Mm-hmm.
in which they succeeded. But they were, after a time, freed. Though there are some Tremere that still have feelings about that, and others that want to continue on with projects that should have been eliminated.
Giordani has a real hatred personally. That there might have been an incident in 1740 involving a Tremere and a blood eagle left on a doorstep. I'm just saying, it's a possibility. He had opinions about the slavery thing. It was very personal.
But this, I'm hoping it's just somebody new to the neighborhood that's coming to be part of the community. Best case scenario. Worst case scenario is there is a unknown Tremere in the area that is practicing the old ways. Next worst, it would be Valois. Or it could be that Valois did some naughty things back in the day, and this is the chicken coming home to roost, in which case I'm rooting for it.
How do we know it's a Freed?
Don't know. Have to make introductions.
Ooh.
So just to get this, so gargoyles are created by Tremere?
Yeah,
Mixture
well, they
of
were.
multiple forms of blood magic and a ritualized one. It's nasty business.
So, okay, so they're like golems or constructs?
No,
unfortunately not.
they were people. And no, they killed a lot of me and mine to make those, along with Gangrel.
So they're made out of kindred.
No, they're
Well,
yes, but
kindred blood in order to make a gargoyle.
so you start with a kine, and you take a bunch of different kindred blood and mix it all up because Tremere are fucktards. Legally obligated to say that.
Okay.
And then they do weird, creepy Tremere shit. Like, he does creepy shit. Not gonna lie.
Oh, trust me, me and mine have done also a significant history of terrible things.
Yeah, but this is creepy shit that nobody really knows how they do it, and it's all this dark, magic-y shit. Then you combine it in the right way, and they say the right spells, and you end up with a race of beings that are not quite kindred and not quite kind.
And they still
That
need
are-
to feed.
Mhm.
They're kindred. They're just ones that have been afflicted and were made to be watchers, guardians, scouts, enforcers. But most of them tend to have a kind heart. They're
So,
worth encountering.
so then we don't have a problem.
It depends on if this one is just moving in, or if this one has been created and has a master, or is here to fuck some shit up. We'll see.
Or if they weren't created, but there is an old world master who still had a gargoyle in their possession who moved into town.
That would also suck.
Could have been here all along.
Could have, but I think we would.
Gargoyles usually stand out, and even in a Sabbat city like this, somebody having a gargoyle would have been heard about. Mostly because I probably would have done something and within the relationship with a certain anarch to ensure that that gargoyle was there of their own volition and not being forced.
Yeah, you don't
Awesome.
remember Yuma telling you anything about one. Mind you, he'd never, told you everything about
No, but there were some things that Yuma was not going to tolerate, and I don't see Yuma tolerating an enslaved gargoyle in
No.
Montreal.
You'd
That-
have to check in with him. However,
But
you, the group, knows about someone who seems to keep track of the comings and goings of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Diane. No, and also with Diane's giant file folder, I didn't see anything about gargoyle.
Oh, but she's only been tracking this since after the Night of Ashes, right?
no.
Since she moved in, I don't know precisely the date, but no, there's been no word of gargoyle from her at least.
Well, but I mean, she's here after everything. If this,
Yeah, if this is somebody that, well, again, the number of Tremere that were in the Sabbat is very, very slim. In the olden days, there were a number of them, and then the Tremere didn't like that and lit them all on fire. So it's only those that were of a heathen denomination that survived that mishap. But that's neither here nor there. I'm fairly certain they're new. It's just whether they're here to fuck shit up or move in. Either way, if they're gonna, gargoyles want to make friends, usually. And they usually try to do that either through the graces of the Ivory Tower or the Annex. So,
but we don't have any masters in this city yet.
no, but if I were in their situation and I was moving in and having obviously been surveilling the city, and they have a tendency to have a very keen eye, they'll see the signs most likely of where people have set up shop. It's going to be important to let the community know about this and have everyone look askance at Valois.
Oh,
And making him uncomfortable is a delightful pastime.
Artie, I think you should probably just make this official and declare yourself bishop soon.
I'm nothing.
That's what you're doing, Artie. And if you think that people are going to have to report in and be neighborly and alert themselves in these ways, which are larger organization customs, then you're going to have to go and be in charge of that larger organization. You're already talking it about getting in charge of the police and all those things. You're setting yourself up as Archbishop of Canterbury. And if
He
you're
was
gonna
an
do it-
asshole, according to people that I know.
I don't know.
Well,
you're
a
gonna-
lot of them are.
That's Tyler, but no, it's just
You can't pretend you're not doing it when you're doing it.
Hamia's
I'm-
right. Rajul.
I am trying to bring about Constantinople again, which means that there are no masters.
That's
There's
not what
just
you're
a
doing.
community.
That's not what you're doing. And communities don't create themselves by themselves, especially not this place, where this is the Wild West. Remember? Where people do what they want on their own. And you want to have the resources and the infrastructure, and you want people to check in. That makes you the one in charge, and you're building it. If you're going to build it, you should just be upfront and honest about it.
Well, what I need is to find two others. Similar ones. I do have a point, Monkey. If I'm going to do a thing, I need to do a thing. Well, that means bringing back the triumvirate. So there needs to be two others.
Hold on. Florrie's been sitting back and she's been letting this go back and forth, but she, nods to both of them and pulls out her business phone. So now we have the Zelmani phone, we have the business phone, and we have the burner. That's what we've got. So she pulls out the business phone and flips through her contacts for a second and texts Yuma directly.
Yeah.
She texts. She doesn't call, but she texts.
You can feel the harumph in his text.
Yeah, the harumphs. He is a very harumphy. Just a quick double check. You didn't leave an enslaved gargoyle in this city at any point.
He answers, nope. Hasn't been any gargoyle in here as far as I can remember.
We have a new visitor. Hopefully just of their own free will.
There's like a lot of like, Yuma is
Pause.
texting. But nothing that comes up. And the text he sends is eventually, after several minutes, guess I'll have to talk to Valois.
You might want to talk to Artie too. He has some concerns. And then she'll put the phone down. If he responds, she'll cap it out and looking at it. But she'll turn to the two and just like wait for that pause. After you say that you need the triumvirate. Yuma confirms there was no gargoyle left enslaved in the city the last time he asked me for a favor.
Well, again, that narrows things down.
He's probably going to text you shortly. He also wants to have a conversation with Valois.
Yeah. Well, that is the thing that's going to have to happen. It's a reckoning. But, lucky you're right. I'm going to do the thing I'm going to do. Which means
I'm sorry, Pope, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
If I'm going to do the thing, I need to do the thing. So I need to find two other like-minded individuals to do the thing.
Yuma and Caleb.
No, Caleb doesn't want that.
Caleb doesn't want the authority that he thinks he would have to suffer through, but he wants to do the right thing.
Yeah, he wants to do the right thing. And I want to let him do the right thing.
Well, it seems from your politics, all of the ways that you all do it, you're going to need one of those Camarilla, one of those Anarchs, because you're a Sabbat, and all three of you do all the things together. It's all the big three sections.
I don't consider myself Sabbat anymore.
I don't think it really matters.
Oh, it really does.
I don't know if people who don't like the Sabbat would not think of you as not Sabbat anymore. People seem to be very long memory about these things.
Also true, though. But usually
Yeah.
when somebody declares themselves not Sabbat anymore, it becomes a really big deal because the Sabbat kills them first.
Right, but symbolic.
Yeah, but if I was still in the Sabbat, I wouldn't be wearing this nice smile on the face.
It's not
It
the
is a very
point.
nice face. I like the design. I like it. It looks good on you.
Not the point.
Ami, I agree with you. I just don't have a stake in this.
Right, and I have a stake in not being involved in this. I want to be out of whatever it is you're building.
I want to be able to. You are a builder as well.
But I'm not building a structure like this.
Yes, you are.
No.
Just not on his scale.
No, not at all like this. So I want to be in my little part of Montreal and not part of some kind of Constantinople full of kindred doing whatever it is that you're doing. Now, if what you say is true, it won't matter much because I won't survive the war between you and Val. But
Oh,
I
there
just
won't be
want
a
you to
war.
know, well, whenever she comes in and destroys the things you care about. So it's called a massacre. But I'm not part of your structure.
Dream that my home had it existed too little. Was there wasn't all these party lines. It was a different ideology, it was a different society. We were all just folk. And if there were areas of contention, Triumvirate would act as counselor to help mediate. But there was community understanding of what the principles were. That you lived alongside the company. That you used the gift that we had to pursue a form of enlightenment and a betterment of society, not just within kindred, but also kind. And that's how everything worked. That's what I want. No more Sabbat, no more Tower, no anarchs, just kindred living alongside kind and doing the best for all of us.
Your idea has leadership and you're in it. It still has structure. It has structure like the anarchs have structure. It's still a society of kindred doing whatever it is they're doing, controlling this or that. And I think you can build that thing. But like I said, I just want to be left out of it. By you. I know I won't be by Val. I just want to make that clear because you started making your moves. You started changing what Montreal is to make it something new, something rebuilding a kindred thing. You're doing it already. And I see it, and I can't stop you. But I just want to make it clear that I'm not a lieutenant in your Constantinople.
What do you want?
Well, to do what I've always do, which has nothing to do with kindred.
Does it though?
No. It's not the world that I'm interested in.
I didn't say that. I said, ask the question if it had anything to do with kindred. You may not be interested in it, but it has your world has a lot to do with kindred.
Yes, because kindred feed on the people that I look after.
No. Break it down even more simpler, Hamia.
Explain.
What are you? You can claim that you are a protector, Hamia, that you want to serve and defend the people, but you are kindred. You feed on them yourself.
Yes.
You eat them.
Yes.
You move pieces around in ways in which you can better their lives. We all try, it doesn't last long. Or we try and keep trying and see it break and keep trying. But you are kindred. And so any society that you're involved with is also involved with kindred.
There's a difference between a kindred society, though.
No, not really. It's just society. Who's at the top, who's at the bottom? They all are the same. People in power make rules. The people on the bottom are suffer through them. You make rules for your own society.
I don't really.
You claim that. You sit there and you have a family at home. Why do they not tell everyone that there is a monster running around in the dark eating their children?
Well, first off, that's a secret I hope you would not share with anyone else.
Of course not. That's why I'm having this conversation in this language that no one else
Yes.
understands.
I can't ever be so certain. And he just looks at Artie. Well, because this is actually, I think that you would understand this. This is how it is with your people.
No, see, my people are very different than you.
Mhm.
We understand that we are always, in any way, shape, or form, never going to have an integrated society with a larger society. But we do have our own.
Yes, same.
And we
But it's
recognize
not-
the structure, and we recognize that kindred have an influence on our society, and they have for as long as there have been kindred. Roma and Ravnos, one and the same. We don't deny it. We embrace it. Artie wants to recreate Constantinople. Beautiful idea, not so great a city from some people's perspectives. I would like to point out that I was the person here at this table who has actually been to that city. Had a different name when I was there, but I'm the only one here who's been there. Ideals are great. You have beautiful ones. Keep them as long as you can. But the world moves and changes, and society is what grows up. We claim and believe that we are different, and we are. We live longer, we feed differently, we're monsters at our core and want to rip and rend, and on occasion just get really pissed off and shove a guy over a cliff. But we're just as much of a desirous of structure and social connections as they are. Look at them. That table over there, right? They're mobbed up. Nice guys, though. But you can see as they're even sitting there, the way their structure and their table is set up. Them over there. They don't talk to those folk. They know their rank and position. They stay away. But they also know that if they went over there and said that they have a problem, that somebody would fix it. Every group creates their own society. And claiming that you do not, and claiming that you are somehow special, that you are not influencing the kind because you are special protector kindred, you're
No.
lying to yourself.
I said I'm not part of kindred society.
No, you are. You're just not part of this. You just don't have influence in kindred society. That's a difference, my friend.
Well, I
You're
suppose
still a
I'm,
part of it. You
I
just
suppose
don't
I'm-
have influence over it.
I'm only a part of it because I'm a pawn in Artie's war that has already been set off to be expendable. But
No,
I'm
you're
not
part.
part
You're
of
part
this
in
society.
Hadi. You're part in Hadi's war.
No.
She's the one who turned you. Yes.
Yes, but she never set me in this war with them.
She said she'd ought to do something, right?
Has nothing to do with kindred, though.
Did she tell you why?
Yes, because this place needs to be protected. That place doesn't exist anymore.
But why did you need to protect it?
Well, it was destroyed in the end, wasn't it?
No, I meant literally, why did she need you to protect it?
Because it needed to be protected. It was
But what right
vulnerable.
did she have to make that determination for a bunch of kine?
This is part of... It's a gift.
It's one I've embraced and know well. But
Yes.
if you don't ask those questions and don't acknowledge the fact that no matter how much you reject it, you are still part of the society. It
suppose-
sucks that we have no power in it. But
I
there you are.
I suppose we have a disagreement about who our family is.
My family is very simple. It's me and Zalmati and the Roma. I don't lie about and Giardini and Casimir, but I don't lie about that.
Well, my point is, Artie, I'm not part of your creation. And I just want you to know it, for when you build it, I'm not part of it. And I would ask that besides the things that you cannot control, the war you've already begun, you do not include me in more of it.
I don't know why you think I've started a war.
Because you kept telling everyone that when Val comes, she's going to kill us all because of you.
Again, there's this thing called dramatic emphasis to try and convince things, and I think you bought in too hard.
We're supposed to believe you, so I do.
Have you ever seen a damn play?
Not much, no.
We need to get you some fucking culture. And I'm guessing that's when the phone goes off.
Yeah. Bring, bring.
Hello?
Hey, Arthur. You can recognize Antonio's voice.
Oh, Antonio. What's up?
Heard there was an accident in St. Hilaire. Some guy fell into a quarry. I think you might know why I'm calling.
Feel like having that conversation?
Much as I dread having it, yeah. If you want to come down to the hospital, I have something to show you.
All right, I'll be there as soon as I can.
Yeah.
Just I'm not angry. I'm disappointed.
Oh, you can feel the guilt coming from him.
Lucky, I didn't start no war. And if you're looking for the people that started any sort of war that I'm a part of, look at the fucking Germans. That's the reason I love the damn spot.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. They were assholes. But not everybody in the country were assholes.
No, they killed most of those that were assholes.
That is also fair. There's that. I mean, Hamia, I have a question for you.
Yeah?
What do you do for fun? Like de-stress?
I'm not going to share that with you two since you tell all of my business to the rest of these kindred. In
No,
public,
I don't.
You mentioned Hetty in that meeting with the rest of them. And you...
Everybody
which is
saw
what-
her.
Nobody talked about her? It
Well,
didn't
obviously
get brought
somebody
up.
did because I found out about it from Giordani. So somebody talked about her.
Nobody here in Montreal had said anything about it. They talked
Well, I
about
didn't know.
that.
I came into the city that day. How was I supposed to know this shit?
As I said,
I was going to invite you on a breaking and entering, but since you don't want to be invited, I understand. Have yourselves a wonderful night, gentlemen. You need to de-stress. Just say.
it was
But I'm going to go find us a helicopter.
why?
To be polite when I have a conversation with a gargoyle.
Strange. Okay, well, I don't know if that's the normal thing for them, but
I mean, they usually roost in high places if they're not trapped underground by a bunch of creepy Tremere. So I'm hoping for the roosting in high places. And I don't climb buildings. I have a rule. I don't do free climbing. Rajul will remember. I do not do free climbing. Not happening.
Yeah, but you can usually just pick the other.
Yeah, but sometimes that means you have to go outside. And those guns were not nice. I did not like them. They were not polite. The movie did not do it justice, though. I will be acknowledged.
What movie?
Have you not seen The Guns of Navarone?
What year was that?
53? She kind of
No.
turns and looks at Artie.
No.
Don't remember.
No,
it
hold on,
off the
that's
top
not
of
the
my
right-
head.
What year is Prax needs to double check.
It might
what
have been
year
like
that-
early 60s at the latest, right?
I'm fairly certain I have it in
61.
the
61.
DVD collection. So,
And he goes, no.
like, honestly, you've been so damn sheltered. We need to get you some popular culture. Also,
That's
again,
Gregory Peck.
there's this thing called dramatic emphasis, and I use it to try and I use flowery language to get a point across. Do not take me literally unless I tell you to take me literally.
Everybody tells me to take you very seriously and to not dismiss anything you say. And you've always been the person who's told me things. And so if you tell me that when Val comes here, she's going to kill me and Flory and everybody you know to make you feel bad, I'm going to believe
want
you.
you to be ready to defend yourself.
She's what, some sort of ancient kindred with lots of powers who's a dragon who can turn us into handbags? There's no defense against that.
You
Sure
would
there
be
is.
surprised what a Buick can do.
Or Chrysler Building.
Yeah. You've made the Sabbat, their powers pretty clear.
Yes, but I also know how many Sabbat died because somebody had a pickup truck and a flamethrower.
Yeah. Well, since she's already sneaking in and she's probably, I mean, if she's smart, like you say she is, she'll just ambush, take us out, and then, I don't know, leave our bodies in your front yard, something like that, or backyard, wherever it would be most distressing.
That's why you
I
get
don't
portable
know where
propane
this
tanks.
fatalism came in. Maybe when you tore into that poor kid, all of a sudden it was just nothing but depression, but you need to get your head on straight.
No.
And I need to go talk to Andrade. Excuse me.
You want to do a breaking and entering?
What are we breaking and entering into?
She just smirks.
What is it?
A museum.
I'm not really, I mean, I can be your lookout.
Okay, good. Come on.
All right.
It'll have lots of fun.
Well, I mean, again, I'm not good at the breaking and entering. I can sit the car, run the engine.
It's okay. It'll be your first lesson. Number one, try not to make as much noise when you walk.
I'm not as quiet as you are.
Yeah, but we can teach you that. She's going to start leading him out.
We're going to skip a couple of minutes, like a half hour maybe, and move the scene to Notre Dame Hospital. Arthur, when you approach the hospital, you can see Andrade is outside, pacing and smoking. A very human activity. He's disheveled as always, and his coat, you know, even though we're in summer, he's still wearing that like jacket that kind of hides the fact that he's missing an arm.
Where do you want to go?
Inside, downstairs. So, did he put up much of a fight?
I hired a professional.
A Ravnos woman?
Lori is very skilled. If I needed more, if I thought there was going to be more of a fight, I would have made sure I had her.
Well, anyway. No one thinks that it's a murder. It's just
Yeah.
I'd seen the face before, and I got a suspicion.
So he was outside your neck of the woods, passing off those discs. Said over 100 around there.
66.
66 that you know.
No, 66 that I managed to get. And as he talks, he leads you, like, you enter the public part of the hospital and then move into the, like, what would be sort of the almost like employee break room or something. No one stops you. They seem to recognize Andrade as some sort of maybe manager of the hospital, like
Admin.
administrator or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. And while they do look at you a little funny, a lot of them, because you're not wearing, you know, a mask or scrubs or anything like that, no one actively stops you. And he goes from this like employee break room, it's all on the first floor, and then guides you down a service staircase. It was like old steel thing, and you're quickly past the white, sterile environment of the hospital and into like leaky, damp, mold infested in places, cement foundation of the place. It's older. It's far older than what it looks like up top. This is 66. I'm sorry I couldn't get more. I didn't want to say anything because, you know, you never know. You never know. You never know. It could be one of them. It could always be one of us. Behind all of this, you know? But I figured, since you caught the guy, that I should hand over what I have. And as means of apologies for hiding it. I don't know. It's complicated. And as he says that, he brings you like past the boiler room of the hospital, and you begin to hear a wailing chorus of voices. They're low and raspy. They're not. It's like someone or a chorus of people wailing if their vocal cords had been severely damaged. But they all whisper about the same thing. He's gone. The witness is gone. The witness is gone. And eventually, Andrade brings you to this. Looks like a boarded up wall with like an old sort of hot water tank, like hot water, like water heater. And you can hear the voices coming from either inside or like beyond it. But he just like snaps his finger, points at the tank, and he's like, "You able to move that? Just the one."
Yeah.
It's actually empty inside. You would have expected it to be full of like something.
Fluid.
Or people. But no, when you pick it up and move it, it's surprisingly light, except you have 2 arms, he only has 1. Kind of hard for
Yeah.
him to grab the whole thing. There's an opening in the wall. It's big enough to allow someone to, like, walks on their hands and knees through. And you can hear the voices coming from beyond it. He says, I would say after you, but I figure you wouldn't trust me, so after me.
Yeah, this is starting to get awfully close to the cask of Amontillado, and I don't feel like being walled up.
He puts up his right hand again. He says, I can't move the water tank by myself.
Oh, my friend. You'd be surprised when you do.
I'm not here to do anything bad again. And he crawls into the space.
I'll follow behind you.
Moment you crouch down, you see beyond. It's an empty room. Looks to have been part of, like, maybe old foundations that were disused after years. But this little corner, like, still exists. And there is a pit
Mhm.
dug in it. There still is, like, a shovel and a pickaxe. And you can hear the voices coming from the pit. And he's like, Andrade stands up when he's on the other side, and he looks at the pit, and he waits for you to, like, at least to get back upright, you know, stand up.
Yeah.
66. What I managed to get. I had to, you know, it's for the Masquerade. We have to preserve the Masquerade, so here are 66 witnesses that will never talk again. Do you look inside the pit?
Of course you do.
It is a pile of people. They dressed in nothing but rags at this point. The entire pit smells of human waste. They're almost crawling on top of each other to try to be at the top and get, like, a whiff of air. They're emaciated. They're closer to almost like Nosferatus than humans. None of them have their vocal cords cut. But they all speak with that same weird voice, and you'll recognize the telltale effect of an overuse of mind control. One can even call that dementation. And near the hole, just scattered on the floor in, like, a corner of the room, are a bunch of broken DVDs. Case and all. Like, he looks at you and you can see his eyes well up with tears, not blood, because, you know, he was smoking earlier, so plush of life, of course. But he looks at you and says, I'm not Sabat, I swear. I caught one, and it just came back like second nature. I wanted to tell Lucky, but I don't know. He looks in the pit for a little while before looking back at you. You've escaped it. I don't think I can escape it.
You can escape it, but it takes a while. I've done worse. I've done worse. And I understand what you did.
Half of them are already dead. The other
I'm not-
half...
Yeah. I actually hug him. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
He lets out a sigh and a whimper. And you're fairly certain that in his sort of sob, there's like almost like the start of a prayer. Like that's how lost the guy seems to be.
We'll work on this.
The rest I
Did what you had to.
they
And
told
you
me
didn't know the other options. What
they
did
told
tell
me
you?
where to find the others. He looks at the pit and like you hear the voices when he looks in it again. They're not, most of them are repeating the witness is gone. But you hear some of them whisper addresses. Like 2530 Robin Street, 1215 Karen, 57 3rd Avenue, apartment 118. And he says, no, I can hear stuff sometimes. But I swear I didn't do all of that.
This place has a resonance. And it has been cleansed. You're close. This place is close to defeat.
I don't want to be close anymore to it.
Shouldn't. I want you to do something for me. Don't ever come down here again. Ever. That's the first step. It's the first step.
We can't
got it.
burn the place to the ground. It's a hospital. There's
No,
people in
We're
need.
not going to burn it to the ground. I'll take care of this. Right now, we need to get you someplace more than safe. We need to get you someplace that will heal you. Just give me a second.
And he's going to walk out of the room.
I'm going to. I always keep 3x5 cards on me with a pen. I'm going to sit in that pit for a little bit. Start writing down some of those addresses I hear in whispers.
34 addresses are what you get. And the moment you write down the last one, might be a stroke of bad luck, might be fate. But when that pit was dug, someone might have hit a water main because it suddenly fills up with water at a
Um,
pace that is...
I'm going to scurry my ass out of there.
The water eventually boils over just a little. It doesn't flood the basement. It just boils over. And when it does, it is just blood. And Andrade is nowhere to be found. That's where we're gonna end tonight. Unless there was something you wanted to add.
I just looked back. If you want it, you're welcome at the table. You just have to say yes.
Oh, there was the heist. Do we...
We keep the heist.
Okay. Then we'll open season 2 with the heist. How's everyone?
Oh, good. So good. I love this.
So chapter 1, Masquerade, is now over. And after our break, when we come back from all of our interludes, chapter 2 begins. Chapter 2, entitled Domain.
Yeah.
So, I had news over the course of this game that our first interlude will be Arthur. Yes, the season was called Vampire the Masquerade, Chapter 1, Masquerade.
We're getting all the traditions, aren't we?
Yes. But also,
Nice.
it's technically Vampire the Masquerade's chapters, Montreal by Night, Chapter 1, Masquerade.
Masquerade.
Um,
I'm a vampire.
yeah. So, November 21st is going to be Arthur's interlude. And then I need to schedule the rest. It's just that I got a message from
Your guest.
the guest. They're only available on the 21st, so it had to be there. Electric Boogaloo will probably happen at some point. But yes, so we're going to have 3 fun interludes, and then we're going to be back in January, because at this rate, we're going to hit the holidays, of course.
Are there going to be 4 solos?
There are going to be 3 solos.
Hmm,
There's
interesting.
3 of you.
He's just trying to confirm whether or not we, someone else that we might have been talking to might possibly be.
I would
thing.
like that. I need to reach out.
Just asking.
Yes, I need to reach out to our 4th. But there was a lot. We are both very busy. But yes.
I would like to remind you that somebody talks to them at least once a week.
I know. Which we're going to talk about that after the stream. But players, for this finale of the first season, we still have a couple of loose threads walking around Montreal. I've introduced a couple of new ones. We'll do the outros, and I will ask this question to all of you, aside from which moment did you enjoy the most over the course of the first season? But also, what is your, without going mechanically like into your ambitions and all that, but what's a goal that you have for the upcoming season? We'll do same order as we did the intros, so we will begin with Mr. Porter.
First business, then pleasure. Hey everybody, Pope here. Pope World Bill on Twitter, Pope World Bill on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams if you want to see more of this silly face. Well, you get a number of opportunities throughout the week. Coming up this weekend on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern over on Maxwell Thesmophoria. Song of Gapia's Fortune. New hat, new address, and Quartel is going to be a thing because Iago's there. And they have talked, and no one's dead yet. But I don't know how we're going to keep from slipping up. So tune in for that. And then Sunday over on Other Dog, I will be hosting a Q&A retrospective on their Invisible Sun game, as that has been 3 years a labor of love from that entire cast and crew, and there's a lot of just questions to ask, data to mine, emotions to be had to bring to a close something that is well loved and one of the more unique stories I have ever seen, because I don't know how they do it, that entire surrealist storytelling, but it's amazing.
They rely on brunch.
The
Brunch is
power
important.
of brunch. And yeah, then keep your eyes peeled. The 21st can't come quick enough. I'll say that. And yeah, favorite scene, that's very hard because I absolutely adore the story. But I have to say, there's something morbidly visceral about the death of Ezekiel. That entire moment where the beast got the best of Lucky, and Flory there to, as it was happening, do damage control. And that long car ride back, like all of that was just, it was cinema of the mind at the best kind. Because you've got the elements of what this story is. This is a horror story. And you've got it in spades. And then the reflection on those little scraps of humanity that the kindred cling to and them starting to fade away. Absolutely. And as for a goal, yeah, I've been given so many. But the one I feel desperately impactful at this point, yeah, I'm going to cheat. It's a twofer, as it seems like Arthur has now a nasty habit of adopting people. And he's got two that he needs to educate. Well, one to educate, the other one in the way to save. Because he's been there. And if Antonio will let him, he will do his best to try and dig him out of that pit. And thank you all so much for being here to share in these aspirations and horror, where live VOD YouTube stories, nothing without its audience. You're much part of this as we are. Thank you all so much for being here. Take care of yourselves and one another. See you around.
Thank you for coming, Flory.
Oh, this is so much fun. Hey, y'all, you know me. I'm at Dear Gentleman on Twitter. Praxagorth has me for you. See me around here on Twitch. And I'll do the same thing Pope did and go ahead and do business first and then do the more complex stuff. So the next time you'll see me on stream will be on my channel on Friday during the day. I'm doing a charity fundraiser stream for Fisher House, which is for Veterans Day Charity Vania. We'll be playing Castlevania. I'm going to attempt, if it works, to play through the Castlevania games that are currently available on Steam in chronological order. Not release order, chronological order. But we're going to be raising money for Fisher House, which, if you don't know, Fisher House is a charity that, if you're aware of Ronald McDonald House, that provides care and support for families for children going through cancer at various hospitals. Fisher House does something very similar for veterans who need treatment and care for various issues at VA hospitals. So they help provide stability and home, and also support for both veterans and their families. While you can get treatment outside, maybe away from home by quite a few ways. So that's what we're going to be doing during the day. The Tiltify is live. You can find it on my Twitter if you want to start the campaign, donate for that campaign. But then Saturday, we'll have the first of our 2-part season finale for A Song of Agapia's Fortune. Pope will be there. A whole bunch of other people will be there. It'll be very good. I'm just saying, lots of things could go interesting places. And then Sunday on my channel for Witcher Roads Home, where more people in this channel are also involved. So that'll be a good thing. But again, check my Twitter because I'm posting all of that and where I be and when and all those good things. But as for love for the season moments, I'm going to put 3. I'm doing 3 to deal with it. So all of the little moments between Lucky and Artie, where it's just these 2 very different vampires who are very similar age, who have very different
life experiences.
Yeah, life experiences
and life experiences.
Yeah, and cultural cultural understanding and awareness in a fundamental way, but how they both want to navigate the same space. And on occasion, Artie calling out truths to Lucky and Lucky pointing out truths to Artie, and those moments that just kind of ping pong across next to each other. Loved each and one of those. I also loved the little moments we get of just Lucky and his supreme fatalism.
He didn't have it until Artie told everybody at the very first session that we were all going to be killed by Val. And then as it continued off the season, he's like, Val's already here. And he's like, oh, dang, all right.
Yeah, which I love is the reaction that Lucky goes entirely fatalist. The Ravnos goes, well, of course she's going to try and kill me. It's personal for her. Of course she's going to try and kill me. That just means I need to have a better stake and or flamethrower. Preparation is not a bad thing. But I loved all of those little moments. I thought that worked really well. And I really enjoyed, Simon, the moments of little moments of hilarity in a very dark story. Like just little stuff, right? That we were doing.
Leo. The entire conversation between Lucky and Leo.
Yes. Just a dude in his boxers drinking a beer on the front porch. Little things like that was just great. And I loved every minute of it, and I can't wait to see where we go next, where this story goes. It's a really great story. It's one of my favorites. And that's it. That's me.
Florrie's goal.
And last
Florrie's
goal.
Florrie's goal.
Yeah, Florrie's goal. Florrie's goal has shifted in the last episode. Because Florrie has a 2-part goal, and I'm going to go ahead and reveal it because it's it's now a 2-part goal. Number 1, she's going to rob one of the museums. She has a list. She's specifically robbing the museum, but she wants to use this as a gauge to see how good Lucky actually is at breaking and entering to see whether he would be a help or a hindrance in possibly breaking in somewhere else.
And he told you he was not a good at breaking. He was
I
going to just stand
know,
outside.
but she really needs to make an evaluation of you to determine how much of a problem she needs to work around you if we possibly break into a Sabbat stronghold. Just saying, if it's a thing that happens.
He has no breaking and entering skills. None. Zero.
Yeah, that's why this is going to be like step 1 of the training montage.
Yeah, he's just not a breaking and entering person. He just does not have those skills.
And he's the one that wants to break into the Sabbat stronghold.
Blind. That's spelunking. He just wanted to like go check. It's like if you're gonna go like check out some underground tunnels, but you know, and he was not gonna sneak in. He was just gonna walk in. He's gonna just walk in.
Yeah. See, this is why she needs to evaluate this, and then there will be lesson plans. It'll be fine.
Yes, but we'll see what happens in the future. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
What about Lucky?
Oh, I'm Traverse JP, and I was playing Lucky. What a great season that was. Gosh, okay. Business. You can find me. Today's Monday. You can find me. So just for RPGs, on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern on my channel will be episode 2 of Traveler Pirates of Dranax, The Gamblers, which will be the first episode where they sort of head off after character creation. We'll have 3 of our 4 cast members because one person does not want to see their parents. And, so we're going to find out how that goes. And then, of course, on Sunday for Witcher Roads Home. Let me see. My favorite scene, I know what it is. Simple, easy. My favorite scene was in Silvio's when Flory, so you've got the music playing in the background and Artie is in his element, sort of being like the Don of this place, like clearly the boss and in charge, and sort of having the sort of power and central sort of influence that he clearly has, sort of like his domain, right? Here he is in his domain that he's in charge of, and people coming and kissing the ring of the Godfather, as it were, and Flory coming in and like just maneuvering through that space in the most perfect way, knowing exactly who all these people are, even if she's never met them before, and how to maneuver around them, and then Lucky in the back talking to the cooks, right? So that for me, it was like those three moments were like the moments of each of these characters, right? Artie and his power base talking to his minions about like, whatever you're doing, you do this, you do that, and where have you been? Flory sort of moving in, checking out the scene, assessing everything, knowing who needs what, how to do it, and where to go it, right? And then Lucky in the back. I just thought all that was just like that kind of like for me, the perfect encapsulation of all 3 of those folks, and the sort of atmosphere that Simon had brought to it, and the ways in which Simon brought each one of the sort of NPCs in and how they interact with everyone else. It was like from the fry cook who like is just not getting enough hours, to the old guy in the corner who's like chatting with Flory, to the guy that like noticed the camera guy outside, right? Each one of those folks for me, I thought was like, it was just like all the NPCs were great. The ways in which each character inhabited their space was great. I just thought that was like, for me, that was my favorite, I think. Yes. Oh, and goals. Tricky, because things have shifted quite a bit. I don't know whether his ambitions or goals actually apply anymore. I'm not quite certain, and I don't think I can say until after the solo. I think really in some ways his goals are to, what's the word? What do you call it? Put your paperwork in order, right? Because if he's going to be killed by Val, and he's not going to be able to do anything about it, he needs to at least make sure that the mortals that he serves are at least set up as best as they can be, and that he's able to sort of make sure that they'll be okay once he's gone, as best he can at least. So I suppose his new goal is to basically try to make sure that the mortals are able to survive without him, which of course they can, but if there's anything he can do before he goes, he'd like to do so, and also try to do his best to make sure that no kindred will come back to them, right? Sort of try to, in some way, sort of like sever the, because people keep pointing kindred to those people, and he doesn't want that to happen because he knows that other kindred are not great. So he's trying to at least, put all his paperwork in order, get them set up for success so that when Val comes in and wreaks havoc, they will be isolated from that, and they'll be able to sort of, that kind of a thing. So that's his sort of, I think, main immediate desire at the moment.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you players for taking time off of your Monday evenings to come play in this vampire story. Thank you chat for being there all the time. You're very welcome, Sly, for the Montreal lore. I have a lot more left. And theoretically, by the time we start our second season, Vampire the Masquerade chapters will have come out. As in, the boats will finally have reached shores, and distribution, the last leg of distribution will have started. So I'll be very happy if that's the case. I cannot promise anything because everything is in the hand of the manufacturers right now, but I will do a special unboxing stream of this 27-pound game. And all of the cool stuff that's in it. And you will see some of the recurring NPCs that we've met, and other some such. So, yeah. Stay tuned for that. Otherwise, you can find me this weekend. Wow, kitten, shut up. You can find me this weekend on Saturday at 1 p.m. For Scion. We might, if you follow me on Twitter, I will talk about it, because we've had a lot of players that have been very, very sick lately. I would rather everyone is, like, back on their feet before we do anything. And then on Sunday for Witcher's Road Home, where we're probably going to tackle that one page of note about the puzzle that I took. Maybe. Because we need to figure that out and get an apple. So, that's it for me. Thank you for coming, everyone. Let's see if there's someone that we could raid very quickly. I see Magi RPG again. I think it's fitting. We've been raiding them almost every time, so let's do it again. And thank you again, everyone, for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the subs, the follows, the raids. Thank you, raiders, for coming by, and we will see you again in 2 weeks for Arthur's interlude. Bye-bye.